Guys, listen to me here, right here, focus here. If you guys don't know, let me show you something. You've probably been living under a rock. Come out of underneath your rock and look at this. Look at this, we have our own app. You pull up that app, look what's on here. You go to exclusive, we are calling this the 101. This is an exclusive in-app series that we're doing. So the only place you'll ever see this is through our app. So you gotta go download our app. You can download our app wherever you download your Apple or Android device app things. But we've only got one up, but we just got done shooting one. Welcome back to our app exclusive series, the 101. This week on the 101, I'm gonna be giving you my 3 tips to hopefully help you find more critters while out glassing. We just shot one today. I gave you my 3 best tips to be a better glasser. Anyways, we're gonna do this a lot more. We wanna create a big old library of, how-tos or just like some information from us to you guys about how to do something better. But give us some ideas. If you have any ideas that you want us to talk about, leave them in the comments below. But if you haven't yet, go download our app so you don't fall behind. And you can learn about all the things that we're gonna teach you guys about. So, go get it done.
Go and do it.
Go ahead and do it.
What up, Matt Lee?
What up, Eric?
What do you think of this overcast for once?
It's
Get him, Jade.
really
Sick
good
him.
for
Yeah.
lighting.
All black. Get him. She's like, yeah, whatever. It's Matt Ice, huh? It's Matt Ice. Hey. What's up, vlog? Welcome to the Casa. We got a busy day today. It's a Tuesday. Matt's down here just to kind of plug out a full day of content, capturing some vlog, recording a podcast, shooting some bows, and kind of winging it. So come on in. Just hanging out with the pup and the girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Just gonna throw this stuff away. This is my dang, that was the fire department. Hopefully everybody's alright. Just putting away the goods. I've got, I think this is day 12 for me on what I'm calling the shred cut. I started the shred cut probably like half a dozen times this year throughout the summer months, just trying to get trimmed up for the bow hunts, which I typically do every summer. But this year I really struggled to commit and hold myself accountable. Just kept making excuses. The biggest thing was my neck injury, neck bulge, and pinched nerve, which was really just sending some numbness down my arm, and that really kind of took the wind out of my sails, so to speak. But we're day 12, almost 2 weeks into 45 minutes of cardio and really clean eats, keeping it somewhat low carb. So let me run you through this real quick. This is a Ignite Fruit Frenzy. I just kind of drag that around first part of the day after a workout. I already had the YETI pre-workout, and then this is my post-workout shake. Chocolate almond milk, 1 banana, 1.5 scoops of the chocolate protein powder, the Magnum from Mountain Ops, and a heaping scoop of peanut butter. So gonna be double fisting it here for a second as we cruise around, but I want to shoot bows today, and I think that right now might be the best time being overcast. Easton has an indoor range, which I love to shoot there, but I actually want to move my bow out to the outside because the lighting, those are who shoot a lot in and outside, the lighting on the pins will somewhat change the reflection on the pin. So I want to shoot it outside and just double check it. So I think we'll grab the bows, go shoot at Easton, and then we'll come back and do a podcast. Guys, I got a new truck. I got to show you this rig. I think we're going to buzz it down to the archery center. Next door neighbor had this old boy sitting on the side of his house for a year or two. Since the moment I moved in here, this thing was kind of broken down, sitting on the side of his house. and I bought it from him. So it's a 1998 Toyota Tacoma SR5. This baby's got 4-wheel drive with the old school hubs. Check out those 15 inchers right there, looking nice. But story on this thing is, the guy said he was in a hit and run accident. So this whole front end got ripped off. This panel was stuffed underneath the door, it couldn't open. The hood was out of alignment and all crooked, and it wouldn't even shut. But with some help from Trevor, actually Matt's friend, at a collision repair shop, he got it working again. Nothing too fancy, but just functional. The plan was to not share it or show anybody, but it has been in the back of pretty much every vlog that has been filmed here, both on this channel and mine, and a lot of Instagram stories on accident. So people started asking about it. But there it is. The thing is dang clean. Let me show you guys the inside. No power door locks on this baby. No power windows or anything. Old school, but this thing is clean. I just gave it a good scrub and a good cleaning, and the interior honestly turned out pretty dang nice. But charged it with a refrigerant, and the AC works and blows extremely cold. What do you guys think? Only paid $1,000 for this baby. 232,000 miles on it. Oh, oversized low. Look at this, dude. Oh my goodness. Whoa.
Like going to Kennecott?
Yeah, it's got it. Welcome to Utah, guys, where we have the biggest copper mine. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's the biggest copper mine in the world. And I also think it's only one of 2 man-made things that you can see from space, which is the copper mine, which we all know as Kennecott. Wasn't it renamed? Or
Yeah, I just noticed.
yeah, it's Kennecott copper mine. But that's, you can see that from space, and then I was told the Great Wall of China. So 2 things. I could be wrong. Maybe there's more things. If you guys know any, list them in the comments. But I've got a quick tip for you guys who are running the Ollin system. This system is best used when the logo, which this is the older model, when the logo is at the top. But you got to remember, like if you're on an uneven ground, like up on the mountain scouting or something, instead of pulling your adapter off and starting from scratch and then putting it back on, most of the spotting scopes are equipped with this little set screw right here. Check that out. So if you're feeling like you're not level perfectly when you adapt the Ollin on there, you can use that to roll your spotting scope. Just loosen that thread, and then if you need to cant it, you can do that. It's not so much needed on a flat surface like this, but when you're on the hills, that's been my #1 favorite thing to use right there. Set your tripod up however, throw your Ollin on, and then simply level it with that screw. Perfect. We're going to get some shots through here and see how we're shooting. We got 40 yards right here. I'm going to warm up my shoulder just a little bit so we don't get injured, and see how this thing's shooting. Ooh, that feels good. High right, huh? Mm-hmm. Looks so different outside compared to the inside light. Shooting high. They both felt good, but I can instantly see, even from back there, as they both shot high. The pins are so much more clear outside on an overcast day versus inside with those with the big lights they have in there. And if it was sunny, you'll notice when it's sunny outside, you get a really big glare off your pins too. So
A starburst is what people call it.
starburst, it really throws some stuff off, man. I'll shoot inside, be dialed, come out here and be like, what the heck? It's good to know. I'm not going to change anything today, but I am just going to keep trying to be consistent as I can each pin, and we'll just kind of go from there. And then maybe next time I bring all the tools and make some changes on the pin. But for now, we're just trying to be consistent. Those two were both high. Left to right was decent, nothing too crazy. All right, 2-shot group again. I'm gonna aim at that bottom right one. A little more eye level with me. That felt good. High again.
Yep.
I'm trying not to like force myself to compensate and like aim low. I'm trying to be consistent. Let's see if we can do that again. Punch the trigger on that one. I was like, finally the bubble. I'm like, finally the bubble's level and it's on.
Good little tip I heard from John Barklow is see how slow you can pull the trigger.
It's a good tip.
Low left?
What'd you aim at?
That bottom left circle.
Oh, I think this barely missed it. Let me scroll down a little. Yep, low left.
Left again.
Left again, yeah.
Very far left. Last one.
Right there together, all low left.
That's why we do these things. Got it. That's better. I'll go bottom left.
You're back to being level, just left.
Just left still.
I had a flyer. I don't know what the heck happened there.
I was gonna
Look at the video and see what shot that was. This one I felt like I was aiming like right here, trying to compensate. You know what I like shooting better on target, Matt, is just a small orange tape.
Likewise.
It's so busy with all this stuff. Okay, quick 3-shot group at 50. This is my middle pin. Ready, Matt?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, I shouldn't even let it go. I saw the orange thing fly off, and I was like, oh man. But I was so dialed to like in that area. Okay, we're gonna switch it up to the target, I guess. I fell left too.
All right, guys. So as we've talked to you a little bit about, Eric and I are here at Easton shooting our bows, kind of just trying to fine tune some sight tapes, to be honest. Got a really exciting deer hunt for me coming up here in a few weeks. So I've shot my bow more than I ever have. Eric, what?
It's funny how that happens, huh? When you get like a special tag, a limited entry tag, suddenly you're just like practicing a lot more.
What tags you got this year?
Archery,
Yeah, archery.
Utah elk. So it's over the counter, just an archery elk tag. I like to hunt the any bull units. I've been lucky enough to shoot. Honestly, with the bow, did I only get the tree saddle one? Have I shot any other? I've shot other OTC bulls in Utah, but I think they're all rifle. So another archery general season Utah, and I was lucky enough to get online on Idaho. They did the whole non-resident like hop online thing. And when I hopped on, the unit that I wanted wasn't available, so I got second pick. It's a unit I've never hunted, so I have Idaho archery. So the nice thing is Utah archery starts in the middle of August. So I've got all the way to the 20th of September for that one. And then all of September is Idaho's archery hunt. So those are the two that I'm really going to focus on bow hunting. Both elk. I'm going 5 for 5 again.
Yeah, plug the podcast.
Which were, yeah, nice. Yeah, all these vlogs are funny, just shooting them raw. We have no order of events, but Matt just said, I don't know if you heard it behind the mic. Today we're shooting a podcast. We're going to wrap this up here pretty soon. We're going to go shoot a podcast, and we're going to talk about last year's 5 for 5 experience, and then just kind of announcing that I'm doing it again this year, basically. So watch for the podcast coming soon. But we've got the Ollin set up with the Vortex scope at 60. There's a little white tape out there, and we're going to shoot in slow motion, kind of see if we can't figure out what our arrow flight looks like. I felt that. I don't know if that camera will capture it, but I was like wobbly arm and just literally yanked it. 2 good shots though, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm excited to watch those in slow-mo. Another tip here for the Ollin. This is my favorite thing to do for kill shots, is to actually be zoomed out all the way for a sharp, crisp image. And then in post-production, you can go in and zoom in and crop this to whatever frame you're editing for. But at this close distance especially, or if you're in a hurry, like on a, let's say like a rifle kill shot, leave the black circle because you can always just edit it out. A lot of people do ask like why I have such a strong helical on my arrow. And my answer is because that's what Wild Arrow gave me.
Do you want the scientific reason? I kind of learned a little bit.
Yeah, give me the science, dude. Trust the science.
So the stronger the helical, the faster the arrow spins.
Cool.
And in turn, the faster the arrow corrects itself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have like a single blade, fixed blade broadhead, like a single bevel,
That's not horrible,
just,
by the way, real quick. It's not horrible. It's
No.
level.
good grouping. A stronger helical with the single bevel broadhead like that will act the broadhead like a drill bit, spinning it through the animal a lot faster. So, stronger helical, the faster your arrow corrects if your bow's out of tune.
And if it's in tune, it's just great.
Yeah.
Just good.
Yep.
Oh, thanks guys, Wild Arrow. Great job, man.
The sight tape's looking pretty good. So a couple things I learned from watching some shot execution on YouTube is the slower you can push this trigger on like a thumb button or an index finger button is the better. And then you always want your release hand to finish above your shoulder. And they say if your release hand finishes in a fist, you punch the trigger because your mind knew that it was coming. But if your hand can finish kind of open, that's a surprise shot. And a surprise shot is an accurate shot. So I punched that one. So hard when your pin's just on the spot, not to just
I know.
punch it.
Even if you're kind of waving around, you're like, ooh, it's on.
Not as good as Eric's group, but that's a dead deer.
Like, yeah, it is.
We'll take it. All right, guys, just finishing up a pretty sweet podcast here in Eric's studio. And we got Bmack just showed up. And I think we got a pretty exciting event or object that's going to take place here in a second. I don't want to spoil it, but
He showed it on the last week vlog, but this is the first chance for Matt and myself to see it.
I didn't really do a full, I just did a quick run through last week. Give it a little bit more of a detailed look now.
There it is. That's what I was
The Go,
the spoiled.
yeah,
It was already
the
spoiled.
Go Fast camper that's already been seen, but this is our first view of this bad boy on the GMC.
Yeah.
Right before I left, I got it the bed liner sprayed.
So,
Good thing we did that before the camper got
man,
installed.
big time. The biggest thing I like about this versus other maybe tent topper is you have an entire enclosed canopy.
Dude, it's huge.
So you can put all your stuff, you can make like a bench in there, have all your gear, but yet you still have a place to sleep. So you don't have to yard out everything, try to make a bed for yourself. So it's pretty killer. All these side panels, they're currently locked, but they'll flip up. So you got side access on all sides. When you're in the cab, you can flip these up and it'll lock yourself in.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to sleep in there, everything enclosed, just lock that, and boom.
Nobody can get in.
Yeah. At least they can't from here. They could still probably.
This is giant. Like my last Tundra had a shell, but just maybe the shape of it and the depth of it was low, but that's a lot of space.
Yeah, so I'll show you the goods.
Fun fact, real quick. You know, a bed liner is one of 2 or 3 things that you can do to a truck that actually increases the value of it. That's something I learned from a dealership buddy. Most aftermarket things decrease value in vehicles.
Does a Go Fast camper increase or decrease?
I'm sure.
I'd say that increases.
I'm sure it increases it.
So you just pull out these little tabs, flip them open, and up you go.
No way, dude. That's it?
That's it, dude. Camp set.
That's cool.
So the cool part too about this is these panels just pop right up.
Climb inside.
And they're all modular, depending on how you want to do it. This big panel is a one piece that can slide all the way over. You could pop, both these up. You're just kind of hanging out in here.
Yeah.
And it's just you. You got tons of space. All these open up from a venting standpoint, so you can get access. If you want to keep it private, you can close it up. It's pretty sweet.
Dude, that's so tall.
Yeah, and then you've got these carabiners in here. So it just allows you to, if you wanted to roll the flaps up, you could do that and have total open pass through. And then when it's time for to go to bed, you just close her back up, and it's tons of space. Easily, you can fit 2 people.
So, dude, my dream of this is waking up with that rolled up to just like a beautiful scenery.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Not only that, just to be like mobile hunting, or if you're on an elk hunt, you could stay mobile. But just waking up to that just sounds like a dream.
Yeah, so this company is based out of Belgrade, Montana. They're building some cool stuff right out of their shop in Belgrade. And you can get really modular with it. There's a bunch of stuff you can put in here, from accessories or molly webbing. You can kind of go crazy with the overlanding component of it. We're just starting to get into more of this on our own. Casey's been looking at some different options. I think this will inspire us to do some different stuff. Some of these new trucks too, when you're driving, like if you've got one of those Dometic coolers, or you need power, when the truck's running, you've got full power right there, which is kind of handy. And then if you got real crazy, you could kind of mix in a Dakota lithium battery, some power packs, some charging stuff, and kind of just have your mobile little office right here.
I'm digging it. That's going to be fun to camp in, man.
I see a full truck breakdown for scouting video coming soon.
Yeah.
For sure, right? Dude. Not wild how much room there is?
This is what I like, man. Imagine just being like on the mountain scene and waking up to that.
This is sick.
That looks good, man.
And then these go here, so
Yes, you got the full platform.
dude, look at this. Like, you'd sleep with your head that way, but
Yeah.
dude, this is sick.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's like a fiberglass. I like that.
The whole thing together is only like 250 pounds or so, I think.
Yeah. Only double stitched like every seam.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty durable, even if it gets a little stormy out and whatnot.
It changed the whole look of your truck.
Yeah, dude.
So, do you just like, can these store on top of each other like that with it down, or they have to be?
No, it needs to be level.
Flat.
Okay.
You know, you can fit like a sleeping bag and like a small pillow under there, and it'll probably close on itself. But
What's wild, and this goes for like either buying a new truck or whatever, is now that we've been speaking about this and had the idea of getting it on for a couple months while they built it, how many I've seen around town.
Oh yeah.
You know, every time I like see a top and I'm like, GFC.
for sure.
There's quite a few of them rolling around.
Oh, big time. So bringing it down as a breeze, you definitely do not want to pull it from the top. You pull it from the side tents here. Then you go up there. You want to get the air out and stuff, you just lift up a little bit like that. Mm-hmm. And you're going to just kind of want to almost touch your hands to each side. That's it.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Yes, I have a helmet on. If you guys watched last week's vlogs, I went and set some cameras for my moose hunt. Took a little spill on my e-bike. Wrist still not feeling great, but my wife told me that I have to wear a helmet. Just kidding. My mom told me. Just kidding. Your mom told me. Let's go set some moose cams. Well, we are to our first spot. First spot I found on OnX. Again, I was talking about this last video we did where we set moose cams. The way I find areas to put trail cams is I just go to OnX and I look at every little creek or spring or pond that I can possibly find, and then I check it out and see if it's actually holding water that year, because every year is different. Some years there be springs that are dried up and creeks that are dried up, and some years they're not. But the only way to really check them is to get out, put your feet to the ground. But dang, this one's definitely got water in it. Yeah, this is awesome. I've got like, I think 8 or 9 spots marked that I want to check out today. And if they're good, I'm going to set a camera. If not, I'll check them off the list and move on. But no, spot number 1 looking good. The only thing I don't love about it is it's a little close to a road or a trail. It's a trail that's shut down, so hopefully not too many people are coming in on it. Well, there we go. Go to work, little buddy. Go be great. You know, I hope no one takes it. It's probably visible from a trail if you walk in close enough, but got it piranha locked, got it locked in the box, so hopefully it stays there. So I just got to this new area. I want to go glass off this road tonight, but I was just coming up through this straightaway, and I was in the trees, and I saw something come across the road, and it looked like I couldn't tell if it was an elk or a deer at first, and then it ran, and all of a sudden its giant long tail following it. It's a huge mountain lion. Biggest cat I've ever seen in the wild. That was wild. Let's see if I can find its track. I don't know exactly where it was at, but that thing was giant. I'm trying to find the track. Oh, right here. Cat guys tell me that's a big cat track. I've got big paws. Look at that thing. Wow. Just ran up there. I stopped as quick as I could so I could hear if I could hear it walking through the trees. Cats are pretty quiet. I've killed a cat in my day, I can tell you, and Logan killed a cat, and we treat them both. That was by far bigger than any of the cats we killed. Thing is giant. Only got one track on the road. Keep waiting for it to come out and attack me. Well, you cat guys, let me know if that's a big track. I got big paws. Look at my hand's bigger than my head, and you guys know how big my head is. But you see those videos of guys, people that just drive around town on their motorcycles with just a GoPro going in case something happens? That's what I should do out here in the woods, just drive around for hours every day with a GoPro in case something like that happened. I bet it was only 60 yards in front of me. Just wondering if it had a kill up there, but well, my camp's only about a quarter mile that way. That should help me sleep tonight.
All right, guys, we're getting ready to do step one of Kruz's first drill today, which is going to be introducing him to a dead bird. So it's a frozen pigeon that's been thawed a little bit out, and Josh is going to kind of get him desensitized to that bird. This will be step one. Step two, we'll transition, and kind of just going to be a process throughout the day. Let's go get him introduced to some feathers. You ready, bud? Huh? Are you ready? Good boy. Good boy. You just like every one of those, it's just more confidence, more confidence. It's just amazing what you can do in, you know, from that first time he saw this and he kind of backed off. It's like, whoa, I mean, it was just 5 minutes ago, right? And now just the confidence of right there, right there. Good boy. Good boy. Look at you. Look at you. Good. So everything here is, it's all about confidence, right? So it's all about, if he builds this confidence, their next step that we bring him into those live birds, like we want the confidence so high with this that it's not such a transition. Almost half the dogs we get in that someone says they're gun shy, they're actually bird shy, and have associated that unsureness with the bird with the gun. So what happens is these dogs have never been, have never been properly introduced to a bird, have never been properly introduced through gun desensitization. They just bring them out hunting. Okay, so he, as you saw right here with a dead bird, what was his first reaction? Was someone like, whoa, what is that, right? So now you think of a full-grown rooster pheasant, and that same situation, like, whoa, what is that? Flushing, hammering out of the weeds, and then all of a sudden it's boom, 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 right over top of them, right? And so these dogs come in, it's like they're gun shy. Well, they probably are, but you bring a bird out, and they're like, oh, and they jump from it because they're associating that boom, boom, boom with this, and now we have a real mess on our hands. Yeah. Because if you have the birds, if they love birds, we can lean on the birds to get them through, the gun progressions, even if they've had a bad, situation, because this is the ultimate prize. But if they don't love this, I mean, it is like, it's a complete nightmare. And a lot of times, you just can't get them over a fear. So it's just so much better to start off the right way. This is great, so I'll have to hunt for this one. Good boy. Look at you. Good boy. Hey, come on. Good boy, Cruzy. Good boy, Cruzy. Come on. Good boy. Look at you. And the biggest thing that we want to be focusing on right now, other than the confidence, and from a handler standpoint, I should say, is we're not putting rules around the game right now, right? This is T-ball, right? Just swing and make contact with the ball and just go have fun. Run around the bases like an idiot, There's no rules. We'll start adding rules later on. But you can already see his obedience coming through, right? So like, oh, if I sit back down, I think something good will happen, right? Even though he's excited. Good boy. We're going to give you one more. And the reason we're going to stop on this one is because we've given him enough repetitions that he's very sure of himself. As you can tell, he's very confident, but he still wants more,
right? Like he wants this really badly, so I want to take it away now. Not that he would, but some dogs would get to a point that they're like, oh, I've kind of had enough, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to walk away, I'm going to be done with it. And then if they come back to it and their last recollection was like, it was okay, then you're not building that drive in which you'd really like. So, good boy. Good first session, buddy.
Okay guys, so we are transitioning now to phase 2 of the bird and gun intro. We did the dead bird first, and then we're able to get Kruz on a place board while Josh worked a bunch of other dogs, really just working on patience and trying to control his overstimulation with a lot of other stuff going on. Basically trying to get him to a point of wanting to honor. So now we are going to a clipped wing bird, and kind of a big deal. So excited to see how he ends up doing. This is his first time being around a live bird. Here we go.
Hey, big dog. Ready, buddy? Okay, so the reason we have the check cord on is that if for some reason he's tempted to run somewhere other than us, we're not worried about it. He did really well with his bird work this morning, Corey. Now that was dead bird, so now this is the first live bird. So what was really fun to see on the first session was he came up and saw that bird, and like right away it's like, whoa, what was that? Right, and kind of backed off and kind of looked around, and we built his confidence, and 5 minutes later he was a pro. So I'm going to let him do the same kind of a thing here, but now the new thing is the flap. So this is a clip wing bird, so it can't fly, but it is going to try to get away, so hopefully that entices that prey drive. And all we're going to do is encourage him. We're not going to say no for anything here. So if he doesn't come to us, it's praise, praise, praise. We'll fix that later. We're not saying no, come. We're not working on an obedience session here. This is all him. So, very big guy. Good boy. Come on, Druzy. Good boy. Good boy. Look at you. Come here. Come here. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Look at you. What a good boy. Look at you. Look at you. Right? Good boy. Good boy, Druzy. Good boy. Look at you. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. They have an objective. So like the objective here was we just want you to get it in your mouth, pick it up, and then from there we kind of assess where he's at and plan for the next one. But yeah, this was fantastic. Now we just build off it. We keep it short, put him away, bring him back in a couple hours, do the same thing. We just try to make very small incremental steps. Good job. Boy.
Good job, buddy.
Bud. Good boy. What do you think? Is that so fun?
Good job,
Huh? Is that so fun?
Good job, buddy.
Good boy.
Good job.
So today we're going to start off again with one more clipped wing live bird session. And then probably a little bit later this afternoon, we're going to transition to the gun. So exciting day, but he's progressing really nicely. It's been a lot of fun. Out here at River Stone, it's just like doggy training Disneyland. They've got, Josh has got like the proper training tools from like the trailer, this big killer technical pond that has all these kind of offshoots for different training scenarios. He's got like short grass, he's got over here some different long grass stuff. So they can really kind of change their setup, their drills, their techniques depending on what dogs they have, what level they have. So it's been a ton of fun just being around people that know what they're doing more than I know what I'm doing. And then obviously getting Kruz some repetition on some of these next steps in the evolution of his kind of progress. So here we go. We're going to go do this another morning session for the live bird clipped wing. And then it was going to get fun this afternoon starting to introduce the gun. Kruz.
Thank you. All right, buddy. Good boy, Kruzy. Good boy, Kruzy. Good boy. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Good. Good boy. We're ready for guns.
Like I was saying, Kruz has been through 3 sessions now with the live bird clipped wing. Josh, what is it that you're looking for?
Yeah.
Your evaluation of whether he would move on or not.
Yeah, so the big thing here is, we're trying to be very intentional, especially because with the limited time that Brian and Kruz are here, we're expediting this. So we're doing more short sessions. We're really trying to, but we're not going to push him either, because this is one of those things, if you push too fast, whether it's uncertainty with the birds, uncertainty with the guns, is just not going to end up the right way. So although we're trying to expedite this and go at a quick pace, we're also reading him and making sure that we're going at his speed, which is very, very important. Every training session we come out here and we have an objective and a goal that we were trying to hit. So the first one with the dead bird was simply just having him pick it up. And it was really interesting watching him, as most dogs do. They come up to this and they think that it's a ball or a bumper, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of smells and feathers, and either dogs want to grab it right away and chomp on, or they kind of back off and like, what's going on here? And he backed off a little bit, and he was like, what is this? And so it was a lot of pop, 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 get him excited, give him a short toss, praise him like crazy. When he gets back to me, don't take it from him, just kind of praise him, those types of things, then build, from there. So we have the confidence, now we kind of progressively move on. So after yesterday, we came this morning, and the objective for this first session was we're going to keep it short. We want to have 3 to 4 successful retrieves. If he shows us everything he ended with yesterday, which was the drive, the intensity, the good mouth, like my critique is, I'd love to see him just finishing that retrieve, that extra step. He's dropping it, that hair short. We can work on that later on. Not a big deal. Probably a bad habit from playing with toys and stuff like that. Brian's smiling, shaking his head, but it's one of those things that we can work out of that. So although the dropping short is something that we would like to see better, it's always important to critique. At this stage, we want to be critical, because that's what it gives us to work on, right? So we don't want to look at this rose-colored glasses. Okay, that's something that we want to work on. But the positives are, he's doing a really good job as far as his intensity. He obviously loves this. He has a tremendous drive. He's composed, so he's not vocal. He's not, rah, 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 because a lot of times when we see that, like, dogs are so out of control. Is quite frankly what it is. They're rah, 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 they're going, they're pulling at the lead, they're all over the place. And the rose-colored glasses response to that is, oh, he's just so driven. He's got so much drive, right? Well, this dog obviously has a lot of drive too, but he's under control and composed, right? And that's what we're looking for when we talk about that on-off switch, as we're looking at as breeders producing puppies. The other side is the mouth, right? So this is literally day 2 of him having a live bird in his mouth. If you look at this bird, there's not a puncture, there's not anything that he has done to this bird in a negative fashion. That is a natural soft mouth, and he's excited about that.
Dave is going to walk Kruz through some more on-point obedience. Tried to do a good job of getting him acclimated to on-leash obedience. So heel, sit, come, things of that nature. But what I would say is, I think I've done like a 5 out of 10 job. Dave is a 10 out of 10. You can just see in his technique that he's using with his body positioning, how focused he is on correcting Kruz with a quick pull of his collar, and making sure Kruz is staying completely focused as he's walking back and forth down this gravel road. If his nose starts to wander, if his eyes start to wander, obviously if he's trying to step ahead, which is the most common mistake I've seen anyways, Dave is making those immediate corrections. Been doing it for just probably about 5 minutes now, and from the time that we started till the very end, you can see a big difference in Kruz's ability to heel on leash right by his size. And again, a lot of this on leash obedience and obedience in general will transition and translate better down the road as we start doing more advanced work. A good disciplined dog that's steady and quiet is going to always end up being a better dog down the road. So pretty fun to watch somebody like Dave work his craft, teach me a lot, and get Kruz even a little bit more dialed in than when he got here.
All right, so here we are. We're at Kruz's first gun introduction. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ease into this. So we're using poppers, which are, they're 22 hulls, but it's just the primer. So there's no shot, no powder, nothing else in here. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to positively associate the noise with the reward that we know he now loves in the bird. So we're gonna call him to us. As he's coming to me, I'm going to be shooting, and I'm reading him that whole way. If he shows any hesitancy or any kind of reaction off the shot, I'll stop shooting, get him to me, give him that reward. But the big thing here is we want him coming to the gun, to the noise. In his head, with every stride, he's convincing himself more and more that this noise is a positive thing, because when he gets there, that bird is there. So this is very important. We're not starting with that big, loud boom with the 12 gauge or even a 20 gauge. Easing into this, baby steps. You know, again, we want to ensure success. We're going to put in that time, put in that work. We're not going to flip a coin and hope something pans out. So we're going to start with this, and then we're going to work our way up the progressions.
Hey, Kruzy! Kruz! Come on, buddy! Good boy, Kruzy! Good boy! Oh, good boy! Good boy, Kruzy! Look at that! Good boy! What's that? What is that? Good boy, right? Good boy, Kruz! Good boy, Kruz! Good boy, buddy! Good boy, good boy, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Good.
Dave is actually walking back here with Kruz now, doing a mini obedience session, which is fantastic because, as you can tell, his enthusiasm is through the roof right now, right? And so with him now chilling out, having an obedience session back, what we don't want is we don't want chaos when they hear the noise, when they when they see the bird. We want enthusiasm, which is why we're not going to come down real heavy on him as far as being super detailed, but we still do want him to understand that on and off switch as far as we love you love the bird, but now be under control when you ask. So baby steps. Again, we're not expecting perfection with him at this age and at this level of his training, but it is something that we want to continue to work for and be intentional about working to that, because when he's in an upland field, think about the hunt, and then when you get to a road, it doesn't mean just because we're hunting you're out of control. You still need to be under control when I ask you to. So this is kind of that first step into that. So he has one. You can tell, if you can see in that camera, his tail's wagging like crazy. He knows what's going on. So I'm going to reload this, and I'm going to continue to do this. We're going to do this 2 or 3 more times, build him up, put him away. We're going to do this again later on this afternoon. And then tomorrow, assuming that everything goes well, we'll then transition to the 410, then to the 20, then to the 12. So again, this is way faster. I can't stress this enough. This is way faster than what we would normally do this. The reason I caution you on this is because it is not all going to go this smoothly all the time. He comes from great breeding. He has a great foundation. Under him, he's much older than maybe what you would normally do that. Maybe like six months old or so. He's about twice that age. So we have a dog that we can push maybe a little faster. But this is also something Dave and I do every single day, which is really important with this. And I just don't want you to go too fast if you're watching this at home and end up on the wrong side of the fence with a gun shyness or a bird shyness issue. Take your time. Too slow is always better than too fast.
All right, Kruzy. Come on, buddy. Come on, Kruzy. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Good boy, Kruz. Hey, 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 hey. Up, 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 boo. Good boy. Good boy.
This is great. I'm going to talk through this here in a second.
Kruz, Kruz, Kruz. Hey, 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 hey. Up, 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 up. Hey. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Oh. Hey, this way, this way, this way. Kruz, Kruz, Kruz. Kruz, Kruz, Kruz. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Kruz. Good boy, Kruz. Good boy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Good boy. Look at you. Good boy. Good boy.
All right, so that was great. It looked a little less crisp, so I'm going to walk you through what happened there. So we have a band of trees on this side of our field here, and it once in a while, depending on the wind, and the wind is doing this, it echoes off that tree or that tree line. And so on that shot, he heard that, and so what he's showing us is he's already associating the noise with that reward, because he heard the shot echo here, he looked to it and thought that bird is going to be coming, you know, from over here. So it's a really interesting, you know, thing that he just did there. But bringing him back, getting him, you know, on that bird, you know, having him be successful, very, very important, and we're going to continue to build on this. So far, so good. The noise seems to not only be of no negative issue with him, but from what he just showed us, he's already starting to positively associate that with the bird. So far, so good.
So we are on day number 3 officially. Just we're in the little back shop area getting ready with Josh and with Dave. We have had a couple great days so far. So it's hard for me to like kind of imagine how much is going through Kruz's little brain right now, because it's been information overload to say the least between all the different drills we're doing, from basic obedience and like on lead healing and making him sit, and just Dave's really helping me out with that category. And then from the bird introduction, the shotgun introduction. So far he's progressing nicely. Again, it's at a much faster pace than normal, but he's also a little bit older going through some of these stages than a lot of other dogs have historically done. So I think the combination of that, and then, you know, Josh knowing the breed of River Stone Labs in this particular litter that Kruz came from, which was Sonny and Strike, they have a pretty good idea of what to expect out of it. So far, so good. So today we are going to do another round with the poppers, and then I think we're going to graduate up to the 20 gauge, and then Dave and I are going to do more obedience. So we're kind of rotating between obedience, which is very mundane, methodical, kind of boring, and then the bird and gun stuff is really exciting. So he's kind of on this roller coaster and trying to keep him in check. So it's a great balance to do the obedience stuff after this high that he's experienced. And it's been cool to see that click on the last day, really. And so anyways, that's what we're going to be doing. We got all the tools. We're all ready to rock. We're going to go get the camera set up, try to get a couple different angles today, and we'll see how he does. It's all just a systematic approach. If he kind of shows good progress, then we move forward to the next step. If he doesn't, we'll repeat it. And that's kind of like our gauge on where we are in this process. So going to be another fun day out here at River Stone Kennels with the boys. So let's go.
Hey, Cruzy! Kruz! Good boy, Kruz! Good boy, look at you! Good boy. Good boy, Kruz. Good boy. Good.
Sit.
Yip, 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 yip. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Hey. Come on, let's go, Cruzy. Come on. Good boy.
Well, it's day 4 out here at River Stone Kennels. Man, I can't tell you how much progress we've made in the last 4 days. With Josh, we've been getting different simulations set up, and he's been doing great. We've introduced dead bird, live bird. We've introduced the popper rounds. We've introduced some hunt test simulation stuff, and we are going to just kind of keep doing it. These guys decided to have Kruz and I participate in a hunt test we're going to have coming up.
It's going to be super awesome.
So I don't know what I'm getting myself into yet, but it's going to be a great experience for Cruzy. So grateful for Josh and Dave and everybody out here at River Stone Kennels and their help, their expertise. Honestly, I'm learning just as much as the dog is and the way to handle and not to handle. And now we're practicing for this new beginner's hunt test. So he's going to have to do 2 watermarks and 2 landmarks. They'll be using dead ducks, and he just needs to be able to, I can hold him on his place. He needs to be able to be released, make the retrieve, bring it back within one step. So the biggest thing we got to work on, which is 100% my fault and my wife's fault, is he's spitting out the dummy or the bird a little short of us. And that was created from being in our house and just playing around with not really any intention. So that one falls on me. That'll be corrected once he gets through the trained retrieve and stuff. But aside from that, man, so impressed with his drive, his intensity in the field, and then the thing, I mean, he's such a sweet, chill dog in the house. We got the best of both worlds. So anyways, let's go. Let's have some fun.
That was great.
Kruz's on the place board. Josh, what do we got set up for today?
So today is a little bit of an interesting setup because we have some dogs that are going to be running a hunt test tomorrow. Some of those dogs are running their first ever hunt test. Cruzy boy being one of those, but a number of advanced dogs that will be running their first hunt test as well. So we're trying to set up a set here to where we can kind of be flexible, and it's beneficial for the older dogs, beneficial for a couple dogs that need some work on specific things. And then yet you have a very young dog who, although he's advancing extremely quickly, he's still very young. We want to keep that in mind. 5 days is really nothing in the grand scheme of it, and he's been handling this really, really well, which is why we've been progressing at a little quicker pace. But what we're doing is we have 2 marks and 2 blinds set up. Of course, he's not running the blinds yet. And one of the things we've been doing is for the dogs that are running these as a double, these 2 marks as double, we have one that's very long, and one, the memory, which is the one that they have to come back and remember where it is very short. And one of the reasons I do that as my hunt test prep is because I want these dogs truly marking. If they run 110 yards on that first retrieve and they come back and this next one's at 30, it's tempting to go run 110 yards again because that's what they just did. So it's kind of varying that distance. For a couple of my dogs, I'm running them as singles, and the reason being is that head swinging is a pretty major thing. If you run too many doubles and triples, I know it's fun and exciting and fun to video and share, but if you do it too often, you get a dog that watches that first one go and is immediately looking for the next one and doesn't truly mark that first one. So some of these dogs are running singles, some as doubles. Kruz will be singles, but we are pushing Kruz to do some pretty advanced things. This first one that he has here is at about 100 yards. Probably 80 yards of that, if not 85 of the, yards of that, is on land, and then a water entry after that, and that's more of an advanced thing. Usually for young dogs, we're running them right at the edge of the water, but he's handled it so well that we just kind of keep progressing along. So.
Good boy.
All right, guys. So, man, it's hard to believe it's been like, I guess, a week or so, Josh?
It's been 8 days.
8 days? 8 days. My time in Wisconsin is coming to an end. We've got one more event where I'm going to show you that next week. Cannot say enough great things about the business that these guys have built. A lot of hard-earned time and equity and passion all spun up into this. If you've never listened to it, I'll link our podcast we did here when we picked up Kruz about a year ago. It's really great. It goes into Josh's story of how he got into training dogs. and the diverse background that he's done, from horseback pointing setters and things like that to the retrieving situation that he's been in for a lot of years now, and how he's built River Stone Kennels and Retriever Roadmap. But man, this guy right here, his growth in 7 or 8 days is really crazy in my mind.
Phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, we're just talking about this. There's just not many dogs that can make the progress that he made in the period of time that he took. You know, we did dedicate time to him, which is great. And I'd love to take credit for the training side of it, but that's mom and dad, grandpa and grandma. There's an intentful purpose that went into who he is today, and now we're seeing the fruits of that, which is a really fun thing to watch. And I mean, he came here 8 days ago. The way that I saw him was a teddy bear. Like, he came in, he was like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Like, you just want to have fun.
Total puppy.
And now, I mean, this dude is just dialed. You see it in his eyes. You see it in his body language. I mean, he just wants to go work. And it's a fun thing to see. You know, we talked a little bit about this too, but the purpose. Yeah, I believe that when a dog has that light switch go on, like Kruz has now, that's a dog that's understanding purpose in life. And I think we all should be so lucky to understand our purpose in life. But to watch it go and have that light bulb turn on in their mind, it's a really special thing to watch. You know, Dave and I get to watch this on a daily basis. It's hard not to take anything for granted you see so frequently, but that's the one thing that it continues to stand out to us, is that purpose and that desire. If we loved anything in life as much as Kruz loves doing this, we'd be really well off at whatever that one thing is. So, fun thing, special people, special dogs. Can't ask for much more.
Gotta love it, all of it. So we're hitting the road bright and early in the morning, heading back. 21 hours it is to Salt Lake City, but it was well worth the time spent out here, the drive, and a little piece of Wisconsin. I love a little bit of it. Gotta tell you, I'm a West Coast guy through and through. I love the mountains, but it's been fantastic out here, from the hospitality to the food to the culture to the scenery. Something special about being out here in Wisconsin. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this portion. Come back next week on our next vlog and check out this hunt test situation. Let's see how we do, what it's all about. It's all new to me. Josh is a seasoned pro, but hey, if you're not trying new things, you're not learning. That's all I got from my section, guys. We'll see you next week.